Hello and welcome back to another Spiral Knights video. It has been a while since I've last uploaded, but recently I've decided to get back into Spiral Knights for a little bit and maybe make a video or two. Today we'll be running Dreams and Nightmares on Elite, and we'll be aiming for a deathless run. Dreams and Nightmares is essentially the last level in the game. All the missions that have preceded this have all built up to this one mission. You could say it's the ending of the final chapter, the first chapter of Spiral Knights. Hopefully Grey Havens can push out an update that has like a second chapter where it starts off with Dreams and Nightmares, because that would be pretty cool. And that also means new content, because the game hasn't received a large update in quite a while, which has caused the player count to drop by a lot, which is quite unfortunate. So Valen will actually be accompanying us into the mission and follow us around for the first 2 levels. He actually does a decent amount of damage and is a little bit useful, though he does occasionally knock monsters into you. We'll be running a Black Cat Cowl, a Chaos Cloak, a Swift Strike Buckler, and 2 Penta Heart Pendants, a Storm Driver and a Umber Driver, both with Charge Time Reduction High, and an Iron Slug. And for our Battle Sprite, we'll be using Swift Steps 2 and a Dark Harness. For the first 2 levels, you essentially want to rush through them and get to the elevators as fast as you can, and only fight when necessary. There isn't really much to do here or get here. All you're trying to do is just get to the final level and collect all those nice prize boxes at the end. The prize boxes in Dreams and Nightmares actually drops the most amount of radiant fire crystals in the game, which is one of the main reasons that people actually grind the level in the first place. Vanaduke does give somewhere around the same rates as Dreams and Nightmares, except for the fact that it takes twice as long to complete and is slightly harder, you could say. Or maybe that's just me. I think Dreams and Nightmares is a little bit easier. It's fun in a way where you just dodge all the projectiles and never stop moving. I believe there should be a key down here to open that door. So Dreams and Nightmares, the textures here are actually really interesting, because if you haven't played Spiral Knights before and you're just somehow watching this video, the textures here are all kind of geometric, you could say. And we get prize boxes. Wonderful. The prize boxes here in the first 2 levels actually don't drop anything besides crowns and heat. So generally you just want to skip them because it just wastes your time. Like we mentioned before, you want to get to the end as fast as possible. Starting off, we have a nice little arena. Always fun to do. In order to pass, you need to defeat all the mobs. There's usually around 1 to 4 waves. It's not too difficult. Shouldn't take too long. So the mobs here, if you haven't noticed, don't drop anything. They don't drop crowns or heat. They only drop hearts occasionally, which can be useful. But hopefully we can do the first two levels hitless, because we're basically just rushing through them. The red balls are actually bombs. you don't want to hit them because they do take a significant chunk out of your health. And the elevator is right here, so far so good. Is my music volume unequal? I think it is. Yeah. Interesting. I probably turned it down for lockdown or something. But now we can all enjoy the nice Spiral Knights soundtrack. So this is the same as the first level, just rush through to the elevator as fast as possible without taking damage. Those are probably just boxes, so we'll ignore that and continue going. I believe we have another arena or something, if I remember correctly. Yes, we do. Lycans are among one of my most disliked monsters because of the spikes that they can shoot. Yup. As you can see, they inflict poison and also do a significant amount of damage. And poison in Spiral Knights not only reduces your ability to heal, but also reduces your damage output by a lot. Hopefully there aren't too many waves to this. Zombies are one of my most favorite monsters to kill. I don't really know why. I guess it's just very satisfying to hit them with a storm driver bullet. Maybe it's from all my time playing Vanaduke, I don't know. But it's always been fun to use the storm driver as one of my favorite weapons. I don't have a mixer. If I did, I would be using that instead, but those things cost a lot of money. The price has gone up significantly to about 16 million crowns, which is, if you convert to real life currency, is around 600 to 700 USD, I believe. So wolvers are gonna spawn right over here, and then we poke the blue circle. It's basically, most of the levels here are randomly generated. Some of the segments are just rotated around, so if I replay this mission, it is most likely, it's highly likely that it will be different. You can see the elevator in the top right corner there. That's descending downwards towards the final level, which takes up half of the time that you run Dreams and Nightmares. Hopefully it's right here. Nope, we have one more arena to go through. This one should be shorter since we already ran through the first one, and that one had 4 waves. Starting off with some zombies, like I mentioned, very fun to kill. Sound effects are also very nice. It's like a little crunch or something. And that is the end. We made it through this run deathless, not hitless though, unfortunately. But I don't think we would have managed to do that anyways. And we get an ultra health capsule. It's the best thing that you could ask for in the prize wheel at the end. Everything else is useless to you, but if you get an ultra health capsule, you're pretty much set for the rest of the run because you get no healing whatsoever. So Descent into Darkness is always the same, unlike the first two levels, which are randomly generated, but yeah, it's the same every single time, same structure. So we'll just walk through to the end. The end has an arena, which takes the longest to complete. It's around an average of around 15-ish minutes, I would say. We'll just push all of these buttons to get through all the gates, and then the arena is just past that little bridge. Hopefully we don't get hit, because we will need every bit of health that we can get at the very end. 4 turrets in each corner, each one spawning projectiles. I just lagged into that spike. That is unfortunate. I'm just gonna open all of these up because it gives me much more room to kite around. If you don't know what kiting means, it just means walking around a mob and firing your gun at them. Makes it a little bit easier to dodge and lowers the chance of you being hit by something, I guess. Because usually the mobs, they attack when you stand still. Except for the slime. The slimes are an exception. The slimes, wolvers, and gremlins chase you around the map, which is why I make them my first priority to kill. So if you don't know, each monster in Spiral Knights has their own weaknesses and are all resistant to some sort of type of damage. There are 4 types of damage, I believe. 4 damage types. There's elemental, shadow, piercing, and normal damage. And each one is resistant to one and weak to one. Constructs are weak to elemental, so are undeads, which are the zombies. Which is why I'm using the storm driver. If you can see, the numbers, the damage numbers, are yellow or orange, which signify a critical hit. And if I hit a wolver with a storm driver, it gives out gray numbers, which means they're resistant to that type of damage. And if I hit them with my umber driver, they give out blue numbers, which is just a normal damage that's affecting them. Because each weapon has both normal damage and their specific type of damage. Umber driver does shadow and normal, and right now it's the normal that's damaging the wolvers. 127 damage, not too bad. So because I'm using a Swift Strike Buckler, it's a 3-star shield. It does mean that I will only be able to sustain 1 hit from mostly anything, pretty much everything. The reason I'm using it is because it gives me attack speed increase high, which decreases the animation for everything from guns to swords, which is why I can shoot much faster than I normally would and switch much faster, which is very helpful when you're just kiting around the map. One more wolver and then ow. So the floating circle things are lost souls, and they explode if you get too close to them and if you stand still. You can pop them if you shoot them before they go into exploding mode, which is when they swell up and deal a decent amount of damage to you. Which is where alchemers come into handy, because they can usually bounce off of different monsters and then hopefully hit a couple of them. Makes it a lot easier to deal with. We have 4 more waves to go, including this one, and then we will be all set. And we still have not used our ultra health capsule, which is pretty good. So the main reason that I'm just grinding Dreams and Nightmares is to get those Radiants, which I desperately need. Need around like 500 or so, I believe, to upgrade 2 weapons. Three weapons. You need a lot, and each level only gives you 30 or so. And so far, my gear is only at level 5 for most of them, without at least the important ones. I'm just gonna wrap this wave up, and then I don't think the next one should be too difficult. It's the second to last one that is always the most painful to deal with. This one is just mainly a bunch of void zombies and wolvers. Should be pretty easy to deal with. I'll probably use my iron slug a lot more during this round, because zombies don't really chase after you, which is nice. So hopefully I can take care of most of them pretty fast. If I can aim it correctly, it should be able to one-shot, or not really one-shot, kill them pretty fast, because the zombies actually ride the bullet, so to say, and take multiple hits. It's very satisfying to use. If you're struggling to beat Dreams and Nightmares as a starting Vanguard or something, not a starting Vanguard, just as a Vanguard, you don't really want to necessarily bring swords unless you are very, very good at dodging. Guns are the preferred weapon to run Dreams and Nightmares with, because it is a lot harder to get hit while you're constantly moving. Ignore that. That was just out of pure negligence of my surroundings. I believe after this wave is the Lumbers and Lichen wave, which is usually where most people die because of the sheer amount of projectiles that are being launched towards you, along with poison. Poison is always fun to deal with. And a very nice lag spike. That could have ended very badly, but lucky for us, we only took, I believe, one hit from a bullet. So we are all good right now, all good. We still have our ultra health capsule. I don't believe we'll need to use it unless the next wave goes very wrong. Hopefully not though. We'll keep our fingers crossed. I do have a Rift Locker which I could substitute for the Iron Slug, but the Iron Slug is just much more fun to use. And that did not work at all. Interesting. Oh well. Yeah. I guess we'll just dodge for now until the poison wears off, because we cannot do anything until then. The good thing is the slimes do follow you around. Or I guess that's not really good, but they do stay in clumps, which allows for quick disposal using an Umbra Driver if we can bounce them off of the other ones and get multiple hits, which is ideal. Most of them are down around 50% health. Good thing that the sprites don't, so your battle sprite isn't affected by the poison, which is pretty good. I can at least do a little bit of damage while I'm poisoned. I would say we're pretty set for this wave. If I get hit again, I might need to pop my ultra health capsule, but hopefully not. There's only a couple of slimes left. Each of them are pretty low, so we should be pretty okay. And on top of that, we just got 2 extra hearts. We'll collect that on our next cycle through. I will take these, thank you very much, and kill you. And then only 2 more slimes left. Or no, 1 more. And then now the fun part. Lumbers are a little bit like Trojans, very easy to manipulate, very slow to turn to you, and very slow to attack. After this wave is just zombies and I believe gremlins and zombies, which means shadow and elemental. That's unfortunate. Might have to use my health capsule after all. Just collect that heart. We should be good. Again, I'll be taking care of the gremlins first because they chase after you and are a little bit painful to deal with if you get cornered by them. 2 of them are on the top. Valen is keeping them occupied, having a little stare off, I guess. It's not really doing much. I've always wondered how Valen got there in the first place. He was literally following me all the way up until I pressed that party button. I guess we'll never know. Playing it a little bit risky here, still not using my health capsule. I don't want to use it unless I absolutely necessarily have to use it, which hopefully I should not need to. I should be able to pull this off. Most of the gremlins are dead or very low anyways. Should be able to just finish most of them off with an iron slug shot. And maybe they'll drop us some hearts. Who knows? Yep, there's one right there. Close. I'll have to collect that heart when we come back. I see one over there on the left. We can get that right now. Just cut across the entire map and then loop back down. One more heart and we should be fine. Get rid of the red tint. It's always annoying to deal with. Or it's just me. Yeah. I'll just pop that health capsule now just to get rid of it, because we're basically almost done anyways. It's already decently difficult to look at the screen with all the black particles. I don't really know where they're coming from, but it's still a little bit annoying to deal with. We can finish off these last 3 gremlins with maybe a iron slug charge shot. Make things end a little bit more fun on a hunt, on a fun note. And just like that, we are done with our Deathless Dreams and Nightmares. Almost at full health. 84%, not bad. And we get a heart at the very end. Wonderful. Very useful. So the loading screen here actually just takes 2 seconds to load. Not really sure why. At least this dialogue is skippable in the last half, so I'll just spam click through those. There are 5 groups of prize boxes, which end up giving a decent amount of tokens and radiance, as well as some shinings. And without fail, I always get a Vitapod at the end. Yup, there it is. I don't know why they even allow you to get Vitapods at the very end. That Vitapod could very well be taking up a space of another Shining or an Eternal. So, quite unfortunate. I believe we got everything. Just gonna run through everything one more time just to make sure. You don't want to end up having done 30 minutes worth of grinding only to miss an entire set of prize boxes. And that completes our video for today. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.